Good evening, hello and welcome to another round of Fragmaster's GTI Thursday in Live for Speed. A very special event tonight, the 6th anniversary of the series. 6 years this series has been providing racing entertainment for us and for the drivers in Live for Speed, and we're very happy to be here for this special occasion with the team. We're Sim Broadcasts, I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me in the commentary box for tonight's action, it's Zdravko Topolnjak with Chris McElroy in the background. Zdravko, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing great. Just thinking about how in country where I live, with 6 years, you go to school.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very long time. This is not an insignificant number of years. It's also not an insignificant number of rounds that we've had this year. We've got 36 of them after today, and we're running both cars tonight at Kyoto Ring National Reversed. We ran Kyoto Ring National yesterday for Born to Race's Turbo Cup, but we're doing it in the opposite way around in some slightly slower cars, the XFG and the XFG and the XRG in Live for Speed. Let's take a look at those two cars then, and we're going to see both of them. We think 31 of the 32 qualifiers have elected for the slightly faster XRGT. And we've got one XFG currently qualified, so we should see both, but you can see what the dealer's choice is today, Zdravko.
Yeah, dealers went for top speed, as the part of the oval is big on this track and you want to prioritize that.
Indeed. Here is the Kyoto Ring National Circuit with its 14 turns. We've got two 11-lap races this evening. The second race, of course, with the reverse top 15, both races with a mandatory pit stop. One-shot qualifying is coming to a close in the background. It's been running for about 30 minutes, and we've got drivers just completing the session now. In fact, we have just had the confirmation that 33 drivers have qualified, and we'll be able to bring you the list for that right now. So the qualifying order for this evening's race is as such. Born to Race Mantas leads the way with a 2:13.09 best lap in qualifying, followed by TJ with 2 minutes 13.29, so just under 2 tenths behind. Then we've got Joe Holmes in P3, Rick 98, Fanatic, Loco, Rabbit, Twincam, Agustin, and 136 MPH rounding out the top 10. Sim Racing Polska's Master in P11 with Rayman, Unite, Pekka Koivunen, Wujek, Mad Jester, I think that's Michael Malik, RD2, Rid, and Sandner in P20. Over on the second page of results, we've got Fragmaster's Fatal. Probably would have wanted a better qualifying session there, Zdravko.
Yeah, I think there wasn't a lot of practice going on before the race for him.
Absolutely. In P22, we've got Magic, Road Appraisers Lucas, Tobis for Born to Race, Friends United Rocket, Born to Race Mismatas, someone with the pseudonym of his dad, it's Johnny SVK, C White in P28, Aerofade 29th, and Bassi driving that XFG in P30. Stiefler, Adal, and Bezos round out the 33 cars, and as you can see, everybody is qualified well within the 107. And in fact, all within the 105. So, yeah, good job from everybody there. Everyone should be allowed to start the race, Zdravko. And it looks like we'll have 33 cars, which is a pretty healthy grid for a hot evening in Europe.
Yeah, and XFG isn't last, so great job by the sole front-wheel driver.
Yeah, Bassi doing a good job there to get the car inside the top 30. Okay, one final thing to talk about before we get onto the championship standings. It's the schedule. We have 5 rounds to go of the championship, including tonight, that we're going to be broadcasting. We've got 2 races this month, then October, November, and December. We didn't broadcast a round in August, but we're going to do 5 rounds remaining before the end of the year. 1 every month, except this month where there will be 2. The next race will be September the 28th. Okay, let's have a look then at the championship standings. We'll start with the all-important drivers, as we have 3 minutes left before the start of the proceedings today. It's TJ who leads the way. He's currently P2 in the qualifying session, so he's got some work to do if he wants to win outright. Fnatic with elite points there in P2, Donny in third, Joe Holmes in fourth, and it's Mantas and Twin Camp for Born to Race, Race Queens Magic, Born to Race Rayman, and World Class Lions, Pekka Koivunen and Aska round out your top 10. And Zdravko, we've got an enormous amount of drivers that have joined the list of the Drivers' Championship standing.
Yeah, I think that there's over 100
I
drivers
think so,
that got points, and probably double the number of drivers that participated in the races. Sadly, not everybody gets points.
Yeah, and sadly, not everyone can participate every single week because otherwise we'd have a very, very big race, which would be entertaining, but probably too much chaos to take, really, even though we do get a fair amount of chaos in race 2. Remember, race 2 tonight will be reverse grid. And if you want to see your name joining the 144 drivers who are currently on the Drivers' Championship standings for this series, you can do, because this series happens every single Thursday. Just jump in the Fragmasters GTI Thursday server at around about half past 6 UTC for qualifying. And your name could be on here as well. But look at that, TJ has a commanding lead, really, over Fnatic, but both of those drivers are here tonight, so we should see some interesting action. We are aware that Twitch has been having some issues, so if you're joining us on YouTube, welcome. Hopefully some Twitch viewers will join us shortly, and if you're watching this back on demand, I guess, on our YouTube channel, then thanks very much for watching Sim Broadcasts. We're thrilled to have you along with us for what is sure to be another epic round of GTI Thursday, the 6th anniversary, Zdravko, a great history for the series.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing it live so long, and honestly, I wasn't around for the very start, but ever since I came back to LFS, GTI has always been full grid, full races, and apparently people like to rub each other in slow cars.
Yeah, I mean, the GTIs have always been an extremely close, extremely popular choice for pickup racing. You can see why. Low power, but still requiring a fair bit of skill to be right out at the front. But there's always going to be someone to fight in these cars, and they really do lend themselves to epic pack racing. And there are very few tracks that lend themselves to pack racing, but Kyoto Ring National Reversed is definitely one of them, with that huge oval. Under 30 seconds to go then before the start of the race. And in fact, no, we have a grid now. So let's turn our attention to the track and get this one going. So Zdravko, please take us away for the lights.
So we got Mantas on pole position. Behind him, we got TJ and Joe Holmes. There's a long run to the first corner if we exclude the oval turn. So there could be some drafting going on. We got 3 red lights. After a long wait, it's a green light and it's a goal. It looks like TJ and Mantas got along way good. Holmes is a little back, but that's everything still in a draft zone. TJ goes for the outside as Holmes sticks to the inside. TJ didn't get a draft going, and it looks to me from afar that Holmes is in good position. It will be a free wide in turn 1. That Holmes takes the inside line. There's a late braking. TJ tries to go from the outside. I think that Holmes will get it, but Mantas is trying on the inside again. Oh, and they shuffle again.
Yeah, we had a couple of drivers going off the track into the second chicane, but very close running right at the front here. We cannot see any XFGs on our timing tower, but in P33 there is one. As we head on to the infield section, it's Joe Holmes already attacking for the lead on the inside. And, TJ's right there as well, but it looks like Joe Holmes is going to try and run around the outside of Mantas up the hill, and we will see what he can manage. He's going to be on the inside for the Parabolica here, Zdravko.
Yeah, Holmes got a bit of dirt on his inside tires, but they're not as crucial in this turn. Mantas is still holding on, and TJ is still lurking in the background. So they're side by side, but Mantis is on preferable side inside for the hairpins, and Holmes lifts. TG decides not to attack. So it looks like Mantis will lead Holmes and lead TJ when they go onto the oval part, with Mantis having a bit of clear road and TJ being close to Holmes. So maybe there will be an attack.
Yeah, some issues further back with some drivers probably going to go straight into the pit lane. We will check that out in a few minutes. But yeah, Mantas has decided that he's going to go for, well, he's actually broken the slipstream a little bit. TJ is right with Joe Holmes now, as we've got a flurry of activity going on in the pit lane. Look, we've got 2 cars going in side by side, 4 cars, in fact, entering pit lane, 5 cars now, and Twin Cam there at the back. Mantas leads lap number 1. TJ retains P2, and Joe Holmes, well, he's trying to think where can he go. He goes to the outside. He's trying to get a good run around the outside, Zdravko.
Yeah, it looks like another free wide in turn 1. I think TJ outbreaks himself badly. Yeah, he loses places. Fnatic will be on his case immediately.
Yeah, so Fnatic comes straight into the fray for the podium already, and it looks like he's going to have a good run, actually. TJ really wide at turn 1, quite unusual. Joe's made a good run on Mantas. I'm not sure he had too much slipstream on the oval, so this has all been done on the brakes. Famously good on the brakes is Joe Holmes. We've seen plenty of examples this season of him going super late into the braking zones, most notably at South City, where he absolutely loves to make big sends on other drivers. But just one driver to get past in race 1 at this point. And it is Mantas who leads still on to lap 2 of 11 for race 1. Here's Augustin for Furtive Racing, looking up the inside then of Born to Race Loco into the Parabolica as the cars ahead run nose to tail. We've got side-by-side action. And, well, let's see, can Loco hold on? I don't think so. I think Agustin has definitely done enough to get this place if he can get the car stopped for the final complex.
Yeah, well, that's the preferable side, the inside for the hairpins. He brakes later, so if he doesn't go wide, it's a good sign.
It certainly is, and let's see, did Mantas manage to get a decent exit? It looks like he did, and Joe will gradually drift off into the distance. He won't have enough of a tow from there, so good job, good infield from Mantas. Seriously quick, and managing to hold off Joe for now. And yeah, I don't think Joe's going to have any chance of getting past him on the oval this lap, but someone who will have a chance of getting past someone, it's Fnatic on TJ. He's moved to the outside, the less favourable line, but if he has any overspeed, he might be able to go all the way. He actually gets the fastest lap on this time around as well, does Fnatic. He's marginally ahead here, Zdravko, but not quite enough at the moment. There goes Mantas, Joe Holmes, and then Fnatic and TJ side by side as they run down to the first corner. Mantas clearly in the lead. TJ on the inside. He will be able to defend this unless he goes deep on the brakes again. No, he has managed to keep the place, so Fnatic will have to try again and maybe try and unsettle TJ somehow. Again, Joe Holmes seriously good on the brakes, managing to close up that gap right away. But Mantas is so strong at the end of this infield, Zdravko. I think we lost Zdravko momentarily. We'll find out where he's gone. Hopefully he comes back in a bit. But yeah, we have some exciting battling going on at the front here. The drivers have pretty much split themselves into pairs all the way down to around where Loco is. We've got a 3-car gaggle here. At the back of that, it's Rick98 who's joining the fray. And Sidus Unite is lurking somewhere behind this pack as well, just outside shot there. Fnatic is trying to go on the inside at Parabolica. It's not going to work. Again, he's on the outside when you really need to be on the inside. Let's see if he can make the cut back on TJ in the braking zone. It's not going to be close enough, I don't think, unless he goes for a late lunge. And at this stage of the race, you don't want to be doing that, as it's now Loco. Agustin goes so deep on the brakes that he's going to lose that place immediately. And not only does he lose a place to Loco, he lost it to Rick98 as well. So unfortunate there for Agustin, but that does allow Rick 98 and Loco to resume their fight. Mantas has had another very, very, very strong exit onto the oval. You can already see the gap has opened up yet again. Joe just can't get the car up to speed out of the final corner of the infield. And Fnatic seems to be pretty well placed. He's within slipstream range, but has he got enough time to get through? Someone who's definitely got enough time to get through is Rick 98, trying to get around the outside of Born to Race. Sorry, the inside of Born to Race Loco here. But yeah, Loco could make the move around the outside as well into turn one. This has been done before. Plenty of drivers have managed it, as TJ does yet again manage to defend from Fnatic. But as you see, yet again, Joe able to close up a little bit on Mantas into turn one. But yeah, even though those two are fighting, they are pulling out a gap over over the rest of the field. So TJ is going to be sweating buckets. He's leading the championship, but not by a massive amount over the Fragmasters guys. And, well, he'll want another strong result here today, as we are firmly into the latter part of the season now. It looks like we've got another fight here between 136 and Pekka Koivunen. So Pekka Koivunen currently leading the Born to Race driver up towards the Parabolica. Worth noting, actually, that Joe Holmes has the fastest lap of the race now. So even though he's in P2 and not really able to get past Mantas, he is on the pace for sure. But yeah, let's keep an eye on the closest battle at the front, and it's between TJ and Fnatic still. Fnatic needs a really, really nice exit. Oh, TJ defending hard into the final complex of corners here. Really, really difficult in every single car in LFS to hook this up perfectly. Yet again, you can see Joe Holmes just a little bit too far behind Mantas on the exit of this complex. So Mantas is doing an absolutely brilliant job at the moment of holding Joe at bay. But Fnatic is diving for the pit lane. Unusual. And another couple of cars also going for the pit lane quite early in the race. Quite a bit under halfway, actually. So yeah, Fnatic goes early. Potentially doesn't want to get into any more dicing, any more fighting with TJ. And will try and do the undercut. TJ now on his own, remember, he doesn't have anyone to slipstream. Fnatic will be hoping he can come out of the pits alongside someone that doesn't hold him up too much so that he can gain some sort of advantage. As we have Pekka Koivunen going side by side again with 136 for Born to Race. And 136 just edging out Koivunen at this stage. Fnatic weaves his way to the end of the pit lane, and let's see where he rejoins. Well down the order, P19, and now going to be getting up to speed again. Alrighty. Mantas leads with the fastest lap as we begin lap number 5 of race 1 here. It's Joe Holmes in P2, followed by the TJ and Rick 98 for Road Appraiser. And Pekka still battling hard with 136 and now risking being overtaken by Rayman if he's not careful here. But yeah, Pekka Koivunen seems pretty comfortable at the moment in the midst of the Born to Race drivers. There are currently 3 of them surrounding him, with a further 2 up in the front of the race. Mantas, Loco, 136, Rayman, Tobis, Meesmith Sass, Rabbit and Twincam. That's quite a lot of Born to Race drivers. Great to see. A strong turnout from the B2R crew. And even better to see a Born to Race car leading at the moment ahead of fierce competition in the form of Kart 36, Joe Holmes. And again, actually Joe hits the wall. Joe's pushing really quite hard and he's hit the wall on the exit of the final corner of the infield, and that will not help in his pursuit of the race win. That will have cost him a lot of time relative to Mantas, and you can already see that he's dropping back slightly. Not quite enough to be any threat from TJ. As Pekka Koivunen now goes to the pit lane. So interesting strategy there. Now allows the 3 Born to Race cars to race with each other once again. And gets into the pit lane nicely. The car just has to stop. It doesn't have to do any work. You just have to pull into a box, as Pekka does, and drive straight back out again. Michael Malik has also come into the pits in his Free Candy Racing livery and picks a spot. There we go. And will not do any work either and drives straight back out again. Pretty clean work there. There's TJ in the background, Joe Holmes, and then Mantas on the camera. Beginning lap 6 into the middle sector now we go. And Mantas looks very comfortable. 0.8 of a second advantage over Joe. And we've got TJ. 98 behind. And then it's Loco. Agustin for Furtive Racing. 136 for Born to Race. Rayman. Magic for Race Green. And Tobis round out your top 10. Some more dicing going on in the background. We've got Sea White and Aplast having a fight here. And also Twin Cam and Fatal going side by side as well. Quite a long way down the order for these guys. But if you look at the timing tower, you'll see the list of everybody who has stopped. It's Fanatic for Fragmaster, who currently leads the cars that have already made a pit stop. Then Sim Racing Polska's Master there, second with Unite. Rabbit in P20, RD2, Pekka Koivunen, Rid, Lucas. Then this battle between Twin Cam and Fatal. So Fatal on the inside now, trying to make this move. It's a difficult place to do it. The driver on the outside can still maintain the position if they push hard enough, but it doesn't look. It does look like Fnatic will. Fatal will get the place, and actually gets a pretty good exit as well. I wonder if that's enough to break the toe. It looks like it might just be enough to get the toe. And Loco is on a run on Rick 98 around the outside. Oh wow, very, very late on the brakes. Lots of tyre squeal, and he's going to go. Oh, he's managed to hold it, but he's going to lose a lot of time, and almost coming under threat from Augustin behind. Not enough to cause another overtake, but yeah, Loco will be kicking himself after that one. We'll have hoped to. Oh, and there's further contact between Agustin. Maybe being a bit impatient to try and get past, or trying to take advantage of Loco's mistake into turn 1. And actually, yeah, absolutely, he has totally got a chance here. Going to try and make it work around the outside. Loco will squeeze him wide, but I don't think that there's going to be an opportunity unless Agustin goes for a silly dive, and he hasn't gone for it. And as we run down to the final corner, let's see what happens between this pair. Loco feeling the need to go a little bit defensive, giving Agustin the outside line. And as I said before, you can make this work, but yeah, Agustin just a little bit not able to get around the outside on this occasion. But he does have the oval to try something, and he will be close enough for a move potentially with that. It's a good exit. Mantas leads now with a 68 hundredths of a gap to Joe Holmes, so the gap is going down slightly again. These drivers still have to make their pit stop at the front here, so we will see them coming into the pit lane. It always adds a little bit of intrigue. Never quite sure what's going to happen at the pit stop. Speaking of pit stops, Loco has gone in for his. That will release Agustin. Loco doesn't want to get held up anymore, and we'll try and do a very, very quick pit stop and limit any damage that Agustin can do to his overall lap time. As we've got White and Stiefler having a battle. This is C. White trying to get past Stiefler on the inside now, on the oval. and managing to do so. I wonder if Stiefler has any response to this. You can chuck it up the inside if you feel like it does go to the inside, but White holds it. And that is move made. Nice move. Far ahead going off the track there. That looks like a Platzt for the LCS racing team. And, well, he just about manages to hold on. Yeah, holding on to P10 there. Stiefler and White look pretty hungry. In fact, White's gone for the move up the inside into the Parabolica. Stiefler trying to follow, but not gonna make it at this point. As we turn our attention back to the front, Mantas is holding off Joe Holmes very well here. The gap's still 0.8 of a second. Sorry, 0.8 of a second. And TJ and Rick Cardle are 2.3 seconds back. And we've got a fight on with Johnny SVK and Stiefler now. So Johnny SVK's caught up to the back of Stiefler, briefly in front, but now has to try and find another way around. Side by side for Twin Cam and Fatal into the final section. And Fatal coming out in front just now. Let's see, can Twin Cam get a good exit and try and bring his teammate Mismitas into the fray? Fatal a little bit sideways there, and definitely going to have a run. Yeah, he's already alongside. As Rayman just up ahead goes into the pit lane, and Tobis as well. Only one lap to go before the drivers have to come into the pit lane, so we will expect a flurry of activity over the next 2 laps, with drivers going into the pit lane to try and get that stop done as cleanly and as quickly as possible. And Rayman is rejoining. Let's see whereabouts he comes out. There goes Rabbit and RD2. And where is Pekka Koivunen? Pekka Koivunen might be close, but I don't think he's going to get him now. No, not quite close enough to take advantage of Rayman exiting the pit lane more slowly than he was. But no matter, there are still 3 laps to go, including this one. Plenty of time to effect a pass somewhere around the lap. And, well, Mantas will be hoping that Joe doesn't try anything in those next 2.5 laps for him. But when will he pit? Will he pit now? Will he keep track position and pit at the absolute latest moment? It's always a tricky decision, but it's often best to maintain track position unless you have a good inkling that you're not going to come out in slower traffic. I don't think that's a risk for Mantas. He goes around. Oh no, he's gone into the pit lane. I thought he was ducking down for the apex, but he's actually gone in on lap 9. Has Joe stayed out? It would appear so. Joe is still out on the track and will register a lap led in this race. Now he needs to keep his head down and push. And Mantas needs to do the cleanest pit stop of his LFS career if he wants to win this. Down to the pit box there, and he's got TJ who's just come in behind him, has to drive around him. And let's see where Mantas comes out. This could be telling. If Mantas comes out in traffic, then he may have made an error here by pitting a little bit earlier than his rival. Is he going to come out into traffic? That is what we're waiting for. It doesn't look like he will at this point. I can hear some cars coming through. In fact, there are some cars coming through. That is C. White. And, well, Mantas comes out just ahead. That's lucky. Or is it planned, I wonder? I mean, surely he was hoping that he'd come out in free air, but yeah, not sure he thought he'd be that close to another car at this stage. It's Pekka Koivunen and Rayman now having a fight. World Class Lions versus Born to Race. And we've got fights elsewhere as well. Master and Rick 98 also having a fight just up ahead. And Loco actually closer now to Master than Master is to Rick. But yeah, when the cars ahead pit, these guys will come out quite a lot higher up the order, we think, because they were quite high up at the beginning of the race. As Loco then moves to the outside, trying to make something work here. If he can hold it on the outside, he'll have the inside for the Parabolica, and he has managed to hold it. That is a good effort. Hobis leaves the race, unfortunately, but we witness Loco making a great move, and that then has potential to unite to make something of this. I don't think Master's quite done yet. Let's see what Loco does. Goes a little bit defensive. Is Master going to send it? Well, he thinks about it, but he doesn't end up going for it. Unite gets very close. These guys are absolutely nose to tail. In fact, there is a bit of contact between Unite and Master, and they're each waiting for that all-important draft. I think Unite's lost a little bit of speed there. Yes, he has. That little bit of contact in the slide that followed will be enough to drop him out of slipstream range. But will Master have anything from him? Joe Holmes is just about to emerge from the pit lane. He's been in to make his stop. So let's see. Where is Mantas? Where is Mantas? How far back is he? He's coming across start-finish. Joe is already getting up to speed. You can see him just at the end of shot. There he is. Getting up to speed. Mantas is already at full tilt. But where is he going to come out in relation to Joe? Who did the better in-lap and out-lap? Oh, it's going to be close, but I think Mantas will be able to swing around the outside if he's brave enough on the brakes. Yes, he is. But Joe, he's on the inside. And can he make this work? Oh, they come together. Mantas forced over the grass and over the gravel. And Joe will still be on the inside. Mantas might have had to give that up anyway if he'd gone off and taken the place. But there you go, Joe. Very, very nice in-lap, a great pit stop, and an all-important run down to turn one. And he takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Epic stuff. Mantas, again, he'll be absolutely livid with that. He was pipped in the dying moments at last night's Born to Race Turbo Cup. Yoni Katila came from the back of the grid to beat him in the dying laps. And it's happened again here in race one. Mantas drops down to P2 as Joe Holmes takes the all-important front of the race. Further back, we've got Unite and Master still really, really close together. Here they come. It looks like Agustin has enough gap at the moment. Loco has dropped further back. In fact, that's Rabbit now following Unite. Loco's been in the pit lane, of course. And actually, he's gone wide and off the track, has Loco. That's dropped him even further down. But out of the final section is going to emerge Joe Holmes, who will take a certain victory if he can get a clean final corner. There he goes. Joe Holmes looks destined to win race one in a thrilling conclusion. Joe must have done a fantastic in-lap. Very clean stop and brave and late on the brakes into turn one to just pip Mantas to the victory here. Mantas is pretty close to TJ, but TJ will have to settle for third, I think. As Joe makes his way to start finish, he already starts to weave sideways or backwards across the line. Oh, it's Joe. Who on earth took second there? It's registered as TJ. Mantas has lost out on P2 at the dying laps by flourishing to the finish. He won't mind because that will set him a place ahead of Joe Holmes and TJ for the reverse grid. But interesting finish there between TJ and Mantas. Well, you don't like to see that really at the end, but nevertheless, that's what's happened. It's Mantas in P3, Fnatic P4, Rick 98 5th, Agustin, Master, Unite, Rabbit, and 136 your top 10. And we'll just wait for the rest of the cars to finish while we congratulate Joe Holmes on another victory in the Fragmasters GTI Thursday Series to make this 6th anniversary race, 6th year of the series. There is an XFG. No, I think we have everybody. Or do we have? Yes, we have everybody. Everybody has finished the race, so we can now go down the full order of the finishers. And they are thus: Joe Holmes winning in 25 minutes and 10 seconds with the fastest lap, a 2 minute 13.27. Then it's Road Appraisers, TJ and Mantas rounding off your podium. They switched orders at the very line. Mantas and TJ both flourishing to the finish, but Mantas giving up more time, 0.02 of a second to TJ. Then it's Fnatic, best of the rest for Fragmaster with Rick 98, Agustin, Master Unite, Rabbit, and 136, your top 10. Then we've got RD2, Pekka Koivunen, Magic, Rayman, Lucas, Loco, Rid, Twincam, Fatal, and Miesmetsas, the top 20. Over on the second page, we're going to have a bunch of cars picking up the back of the pack. We've got Madjesta for SGR, a Platst for LCSR, Michael Malek, Friends United Rocket, Mr. White there, Johnny SVK, Stiefler, Bezos, Aerofade, Wujek for Sim Racing Polska. Then it's Bassi, Tobis, Bobix, Adal, and Samma, the 35 cars. And the final four there, Tobis, Bobix, Adal, and Samma, unfortunately DNFing. Now, let's have a look at the all-important first page to work out who will take provisional pole. It should be Road Appraisers Lucas, because we have a top 15 reversed race 2 here. So hopefully we are going to see Lucas on pole position. Then it will be Magic on the front row with Pekka Koivunen and RD2 on row 2, 136 and Rabbit on row 3, Unite and Master on row 4, Agustin and Rick 98 on row 5, Fnatic and Mantas on row 6, and TJ and Joe Holmes at the back of the grid. That's going to be a thriller. So we hope that you will stick around for race number 2 coming up in just a few moments' time. We're not really sure where Zdravko's gone to, so we're going to take a very quick break, and we're going to talk about the race 2 order in just a few moments' time. And why don't you enjoy, in the meantime, the trailer for the upcoming 8 Hours of West Hill by the Argentina Turismo team. Hello and welcome back. Zdravko's had to run away for some urgent matters, so we will wish him well and hope that he can join us later in the race. But anyway, we have to decide what he is going to be choosing in our broadcaster picks for race 2. Now, this is a silly game we always play where we choose who we think is going to win. Chris and I have had a chat in the background, and we're going to award Zdravko Joe Holmes, the winner of race 1, as his choice for this because he can't make it here. We will give him the option to change that if he's back in the next few minutes, but if not, he's going to get Holmes. I'm going with Fnatic, and Chris has chosen, you guessed it, it's TJ. So yeah, there we go. Zdravko will take Joe Holmes, I'll take Fnatic, and Chris will take TJ for race number 2. 50 seconds remaining before the start of the second race, so I'm going to be jumping away for a couple of seconds, and we'll be back for the start of race 2 in just a moment's time. Don't go anywhere. We are ready to go racing for race number 2. Another 11 laps for the drivers here. I will very quickly flash onto the screen the picks for race 2 when we get going. But yeah, let's take a look at that all-important order. It is going to be Lucas who takes the pole position as we watch from the gantry here to see who will be taking the lead. There we go, Holmes, Fnatic and TJ to watch out for our silly game in race 2. But it's green in the meantime for our drivers as they thunder their way down to oval turn 1. A brilliant sight to see so many drivers still partaking in this series after 6 years since its inception. And it is Born to Race Loco who is currently best placed. He's managed to sweep past Lucas on the opening few hundred meters down to oval turn 1. Here we go as the cars streak their way at the apron. We've got a couple of cars coming together, people getting spun out almost in the background there as we make our way down towards the first proper corner. And who's that? That is a bit of lag, was that? I don't know what's happened there, but Lucas is way down. A bit of a lag hit probably, and Lucas is all the way now at the back of the race. He's rejoined, so pole position to the back. Not a great start for him. And well, it looks like we've also lost Mantas. Mantas is not here. Mantas did not race 2. I think we knew about that. Chris and I did talk about that. We couldn't choose him for race 2. Anyway, here we go. Rayman and Pekka Koivunen are now very close together. And, well, it's looking like there might be a move on here. But where are our movers and shakers further down? P15. It's a fight between Twin Cam and Rabbit. We've got Rick 98 there, Fnatic, Master and TJ. And Joe Holmes is up to P9. In fact, now P8, it looks like. He's in a bit of a fight in the background. With Agustin. Here's Agustin, Joe on the inside in that black, white and red livery. TJ just behind in the green, luminescent green Road Appraiser livery. And that's SRP Master, that's the Sim Racing Polska driver who is up alongside Joe now on the outside. Can he make this work into the final set of corners? No, Joe's gone super late on the brakes and it's going to cause a pile-up. And there's a Born to Race driver who's just abandoned there. Didn't quite catch the name, but I think it may have been Twin Cam with the green wheels. He unfortunately has to retire before causing a collision. Well, fair play to Twin Cam. He didn't have to do that. It was a fairly innocuous incident, but deciding he didn't want to make any contact. Let's see if Joe Holm pits. Yes, he does. So too does... who was that? Was that Fnatic into the pit lane as well? And a couple of other cars. Rick and who's that just behind? Looks like Rabbit for... the Born to Race team as well. So after a frantic couple of laps, it's Loco who leads the race ahead of his teammate Rayman. Pekka Koivunen in P3, and we've got battles further back. We've got Fatal and Michael Malik now side by side. Fatal will really be hoping he can get a good result in race 2 here. As we head back to the front, we've got RD2 and Magic going side by side. Magic up the inside there. And RD2 trying to hold it around the outside. This hasn't worked too well today for the drivers. And yes, indeed, Magic is through. That's Unite in his old Genuine Racing livery there, trying to get through as well in the background, and does so. Well, he's alongside at least. Let's see if he can hold it here into the infield section. I don't think he's going to be able to do that unless he gets a switchback. RD2 will hold the position for now, or will he? No, there we go. Unite does go for the switchback, and he's going to be cleanly through, I think. I don't think there's anything that RD2 can do. Nope, he is through. Fighting further forward as well. Pekka Koivunen, he's caught way up to the back of Rayman. And that's going to be a spicy battle into the Parabolica. Will Koivunen go for it? No, he thinks about it, but doesn't go for the move just yet. Now, where did Joe Holmes emerge? He came out in P23, and he is in a little bit of clean air, so that's good for him. But for how long will he be in clean air? Pekka Koivunen lining up Rayman, but Rayman defends. Koivunen goes to the outside. It's not going to work. It hasn't worked for many drivers here today thus far. And Rayman will cover there the inside line. A huge gaggle of cars behind there. We've got Augustin currently on the camera with TJ just behind. And that's 136 for Born to Race sneaking through and hugging up to the back of the Furtive Racing driver. Well, actually, not so much. Not a great exit from 136. And TJ thinks about pitting, but does not. We've got Master in the pit lane. We've also got Agustin in the pit lane and Unite also electing to pit with a very nice drift. Not a fast way into pit lane there, but a pretty stylish one for sure. As TJ makes the move on 136 just off camera there. He's made the move stick, and it's Rayman and Pekka Koivunen side by side. Pekka makes the move finally on Rayman, but can he keep it down into turn one? He's going to have to go defensive if he wants to keep this. Rayman goes to the outside. Again, the outside moves just haven't been really paying off today. And let's see what 136 has to say about his overtake that TJ made on him a moment ago. 136 has done a decent attempt to try and get back past there, but again, not working on the outside line. He has to settle back down into 7th place. Okay, we're on lap 3. It is Born to Race Loco who leads the way with Pekka Koivunen in P2 now, ahead of Rayman, rounding out our provisional podium. Then it's Magic for Race Green, RD2, Road Appraisers TJ, that's Chris's pick, currently leading the way in our silly game. 136 in P7, Fatal in P8, and then it's Aplast in P9 with Wujek for Sim Racing Polska rounding out the top 10. It's been a frantic start to race 2, as it always is. That reverse grid at the start always shakes up the order, and you get the faster cars, faster drivers trying to get through to the front early on, and all sorts of shenanigans happen. It's completely shuffled up the order. Lots of drivers who you'd expect to stay out have decided to pit early, and it's currently Unite who leads the drivers who have made a pit stop. But for how long? It's Joe Holmes currently just behind him, and Agustin there as well, with Fnatic currently in P4. So Zdravko's pseudo pick that Chris and I chose for him, currently in solid P17 after his early stop. Still has to get past Unite if he wants the overall win to be an option here. Still plenty of laps to go, of course, and if race one's anything to go by, Joe should manage to get past Unite at some point soon. But will it matter? Because Loco has opened up a fairly sizable gap now to Koivunen and is pressing home his advantage. He's got 1.2 seconds over the World Class Lions driver, 2 seconds over his teammate, and looks pretty comfortable in the lead of the race. Needs to stay out of trouble, and he may have a shot at a podium overall here if he can keep it together. Depends how much fighting the guys behind do, as Joe takes the fastest lap of the race in his pursuit of Sidus Unite. Bassi, an XFG on camera. There we go. Bassi making a move on Stiefler. What's that? An XFG making a move on an XRG in the draft all the way around the oval, and then making a move at the end of the oval. Absolutely perfection from Bassi there. So great to see the XFG up the order. Of course, it's going to get shaken about a bit when he comes into the pit lane, but still nice to see the only driver, that is elected to choose the XFG tonight, and doing a fairly decent job of it, showing up all the drivers who have chosen the XRG that are currently behind him. Now let's see what Fnatic can do. He's right behind Agustin into the middle of the track here, and as they weave their way through this lovely chicane, which is not as straightforward as it looks when you're following someone nose to tail. It's very easy to drop a wheel over the curbs, which do tend to pull you wide, pull you off into the grass. There you go. Agustin sees that the hard way. And yeah, Fnatic will have a move here. Agustin has got it all wrong into Parabolica. And in the background, a similar situation developing between Rabbit and Master. Born to Race versus Sim Racing Polska. And the SRP driver is going to try and do it on the outside, or is he going to switch to the inside? You want to switch to the inside here. It doesn't work on the outside so much today, but he doesn't go for any moves at all. Oh, it's late on the brakes for Rabbit, and Master trying something, but it just isn't working right now. I'm hearing that Joe is pretty close to Unite. In fact, he's more than pretty close. He's alongside, and he's on the inside. Somehow, Unite has managed to give up the inside. Maybe they're just going to try and slipstream each other and get an advantage by using the toe. Let's see if Unite tucks back into the slipstream and makes a counter move. Joe will move over to the inside to try and block this offensive. He doesn't want Unite to come back through. He wants the place for himself. He doesn't want him to fight with him. But Unite is perfectly entitled to try and make the move back, of course. But where is it going to happen? Unite will have to switch back to the inside, but Joe is wise enough. Joe is old enough that he is going to cover that completely, and Unite is going to have to go the long way around. Joe will stick to the inside. Unite goes outside. Will he make the move? I don't think so. I think Joe has played him for a fool. Unite's going to have to dig really deep to try and get it around the outside. It's a good effort. It's a better effort than we've seen from some other drivers, but it's not enough. Joe moves up into the net lead then of the drivers who have already made a stop. And look at the clean road ahead of Joe now. He's got so much time that he can make here on our overall race leaders. Let's take a look then at Wujek, the other SRP driver in this race. They were side by side, Platst and Wujek, but no longer. And yeah, Wujek needs to find something. It seems like the SRP drivers here have been following, but not really overtaking as much in the middle of these races. Let's see what they can do. Can Wujek make any progress from there? As we switch to our race leader, Born to Race Loco, just exiting the final corner. And he is going to move over halfway through the race. And does not elect to pit. So he's going to go as long as he can. I think it does make sense for our race leader to go as long as he can. Probably knows that he's not on the pace of Joe Holmes and Unite, as we have Fatal in the pit lane. Fatal elects to go into the pits at this point. Be very interesting to see where he comes out. We've got Platz and Wujek, the duo that were battling just before, both into the pit lane. Platz running fairly wide, as we have RD2 versus TJ across start finish. TJ nosing ahead there and taking with it the fastest lap of the race. So TJ is on a bit of a mission here, and he is absolutely flying. He's out in the lead, out still. He hasn't pitted yet, so we do not know where he's going to end up emerging in the Joe Holmes Unite Fnatic situation. But we will find out pretty soon, I'm sure. TJ heading through there, and no such challenge from RD2. TJ is through and clear. And we'll be looking up the rear end of Race Green's Magic pretty soon. So we will see how that develops. But yeah, Loco now with a 2.5 second gap over World Class Lions Pekka Koivunen and his teammate Rayman. And then we've got Magic in P4, TJ in P5, RD2 in P6, 136 in P7, and it's White and Rocket quite close together. And Adal is the final car who has yet to make a stop. Bassi, who did make a stop, is our 25th and final car in this race. And there you can see in the background the chasing pack. All of these cars have stopped, and they're still pretty close together, it has to be said. Joe Holmes currently occupying P11, and he has a 30-second gap to our race leader, as that is Adal running wide and allowing all of our leaders through. It's going to be quite a long wait. But yeah, Joe is comfortably ahead of Unite then, as Magic drops down into the pit lane. That means that TJ will not get a tow around the oval this time around. So Magic denying TJ that small advantage that you can get if you're following another car closely here. And Magic needs to get that car slowed down. He does just about. It is deceptive, this pit lane. It's so vast that picking your braking zone for the pit lane is fairly tricky. You have to do some practice with that, as Rocket and White are going to be side by side across start finish. And it is Rocket making the move on the inside for Friends United. And let's see if White can do anything to counteract that. Will he go to the inside? Is it going to be a dummy? I think he's going to stay behind for the braking zone. Probably sensible, as the cars head into the chicane. Fatal has gone into the pit lane and has given himself a drive-through penalty. That is a disaster for his race. That's not what he wants at all. I was talking about Petrie being a little bit deceptive, and well, Fatal has found that out the hard way. He is going to be furious. He'll have to come and do a drive-through to get rid of that penalty. Magic has come out of the pits just behind Fnatic, so that's where we think that TJ is going to emerge, roughly there or thereabouts. So just behind Fnatic it will be for TJ. It depends how quick TJ can be over the next few laps, and it also depends when he comes in, of course. Let's see how early he comes into the pit lane. But it is currently Joe, then Unite, then Fnatic, and on the screen Magic, who are your top 4 of those who have stopped. And we've got Rick98 with Agustin, trying to get close and make the move. But where's it going to happen? Let's see. Rick98 will fancy a move somewhere. Will he try and do it on the oval? Will he make the move into the final complex here? A number of the drivers have gone for the move here and then have managed to get a good enough exit to break the toe on the oval. But yeah, Rick98 is playing the patient game, probably sensible. Let's see if he can stay in that all-important slipstream through this, the final chicane of the lap. And it's looking good. That's a nice exit. Both of them avoiding brushing the wall. And Rick98 looks well poised to get the move done. Let's see where he goes for it. If he does indeed go for it. Yeah, he's going to the inside. He's going to make the move early. There you can see Joe streaking through your shot, then Unite, then Fnatic, then Magic, and then this pair side by side. Rick98 and Agustin. And Rick98 has effected a pass there. Agustin will drop back into the slipstream and try something, surely, into turn 2. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, Rick98 defending the inside nicely, but oh, there we go. Agustin trying something, sends it up the inside. Is he going to get it slowed down? That's a great move. They do make contact. He's gone quite deep and unfortunately off of the road. He's going to try and rejoin and do something with it, but no, further contact. And Rick98 has the place. It's all over for Agustin there, as TJ has caught up to the back of Rayman. This is not what he wants at all. He wants a clean road. He doesn't want to be held up by anybody. But that's the problem with pitting early, or rather leaving it late. You end up in quite a bit of traffic around drivers who you didn't get past earlier in the race, in race 2, with it being a reverse grid. So TJ is having to work quite hard here to try and get past the Born to Race driver, but Rayman's gone a bit deep, and TJ might be able to make it before the final corner. Will he? Yes, just about. A bit of contact, but that helps TJ. A bit of a boost out of the final corner, and that means Rayman's not going to be anywhere near him, and TJ can breathe a sigh of relief as Rayman tends towards the pit lane entry. Yep, I think it's time. You've lost a lot of time there, Rayman, as RD2 follows him in. Doesn't want to lose a slipstream partner if he can absolutely avoid it, so RD2 will follow Rayman in there. We believe that Loco may have enough in the tank here to win the race outright with his current pace. Joe Holmes is not driving fast enough to bring down the gap that Loco has opened up. Loco had such a clean start. We will check it across the line, but the gap currently sits at 29 seconds, and we think that it's going to take long enough, too long for, we just don't think that Joe's going to be close enough to Loco if Loco can keep this pace up for the next 3 laps. Loco is doing some really, really nice pace here. Got past Lucas immediately at the start and has led ever since. And without any draft partner, anyone to race with, he's doing some very, very consistent laps. Let's keep an eye on Joe. He's got the fastest lap, but it's not fast enough. Loco is being very consistent right now as we have 2 further cars emerging from the pit lane. It's Rayman emerging just behind Magic there, and RD2 also emerging behind Rayman. So Rick98 there has lost quite a bit of time fighting with Agustin. Agustin likewise losing a bit of time, and Rabbit there in P14 may end up with an extra place here. But yeah, let's see. Can Loco cause a bit of a stir here and take the win? he's well placed for it, absolutely. The gap to Joe now 28.8 seconds, so the gap is definitely coming down. That's half a second that he's taken out of Loco on this lap. But, you know, is it enough? Will Loco decide to pit now and fight and defend from Joe Holmes on track? Or will he play a gamble and pray that he has the pace to do it without doing the pit stop? Yeah, Loco stays out. This is dangerous territory for Loco. If Joe has the pace, then he can do the undercut and get past Loco while he goes into the pit lane. We will check the gap at the start-finish line, but again, Joe Holmes eating away at the time. He's woken up. Another half a second in Sector 2 to close the gap to Loco. But anyway, if he keeps going at a rate of half a second a sector, then maybe Loco's chances are dashed. But Loco has to come into the pit lane this lap. This is his last lap on the track before he has to come in the pits. You cannot pit on the final lap for your mandatory stop in GTI Thursday, or indeed any other race series that we broadcast here on Sim Broadcasts. Thank you, of course, for joining us for this, the 6th anniversary of the Fragmasters GTI Thursday series. And we are currently watching Born to Race Loco with a lot of excitement here, as Joe has actually just made a move on someone there. He's up to P4. He was in P5 a minute ago. So unless someone has pitted, in fact, someone must have pitted, I think. Yeah. 136 has pitted, so that's promoted Joe up a place. 136 is going to rejoin around about P13. But yes, the gap between Loco and Holmes continues to come down as we have a fight then between Fnatic and Unite. And to the outside he goes. Just a little bit of overlap, but tricky, as I've said plenty of times today. Tricky to get it done around the outside. You have to find somewhere else to do the move. Unite defends. Fnatic thinks about the move, but doesn't go for it in the end. Let's watch Loco out of the final sector and peeling to the pit lane. Yes, he has remembered he needs to do a pit stop, and we will watch that intently when he leaves the pits. Where will Joe Holmes be? 28.4 seconds of the gap. Can Loco get in to the pit lane and out ahead of Joe? Well, if the last race is anything to go by, you wouldn't want to bet on you wouldn't want to bet against Joe Holmes, but we will see. Unite holds the place for now over Fnatic, and will he get a good exit? Well, it's not ideal, but it is going to be close enough. Fnatic will have a chance as Loco begins to make a move, and there's a bit of a queue in the background. TJ is having to do a bit of avoiding action. So too was Pekka Koivunen there, and Loco is taking the shortest line possible, but it's not going to matter, I don't think. In fact, Joe Holmes is just emerging onto the fast home straight now, comes across start-finish. Now, let's look back at Loco. It looks like he's got it. Joe Holmes has got this in the bag, I think. I think I'm calling it. It's going to be close, but I think Joe is up to pace and will swing around the outside of Loco. Will he? Let's see. Where is Loco? It's going to be close, folks. It's going to be close, but actually, Loco, remarkably, is out with about a second and a bit of a gap. Now, Joe, dig deep, and you might have a sniff here on the oval. It's less than a second, the gap between our leaders. Joe Holmes has made good time, actually, but Loco has emerged in the lead, but only just. This is a great effort. We've got a gaggle of 4 cars as well behind. It's a fight between Fnatic and Unite. Fnatic trying to make the move. He just can't get past Unite. Unite holding on to that 3rd place. Pekka Koivunen and TJ also in a battle here. TJ to the inside of Pekka Koivunen. That looks like a move done. I don't think Pekka Koivunen will be able to defend that unless TJ botches a gear change. In fact, yeah, Pekka's coming back at him, so that's not over. And this isn't over either. Loco is going to be sweating bullets here to try and keep ahead of one of the most difficult drivers to beat in a fair fight. And, well, Joe is going to do what Joe Holmes only does in this situation on the final lap. Get ready for it. There is going to be the most almighty send into the final corner here. You know it's coming. He's just going to go for it. Joe is going to have to go for the 9-mile send. He's going to go so late on the brakes. Is he? No, he's going to wait for the oval. I'm actually surprised. Goes late on the brakes, gets really close, and Loco, can he hold on at the final corner? As we go onto the oval, Joe Holmes has historically tonight not been that great at the final corner, but he's managed it now. Joe Holmes has the slipstream. Loco goes straight down to the apron to try and defend this. Is Joe close enough to get the slipstream? We ride on board with Loco. He's getting closer, but he's going to have to find a way through. Loco will defend the inside. Joe Holmes has no choice but to go around the outside. But does he have the overspeed? Oh no, Joe makes the cut back to the inside. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. We're going to have to watch this from the overhead. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Loco. Loco just at the line. Wins with, oh my goodness, an absolutely tiny margin over Joe Holmes, but well held at the end there. Loco, Born to Race Loco, wins ahead of Joe Holmes, who takes the fastest lap, 600ths of a second the gap. Fair play to Loco there. That was intense at the end there. I honestly thought Joe might have just got it when he made the switchback, but too much movement in that car in the end, just not enough pace to get across the line. Unite rounds out your podium. It's Fnatic in P4, Koivunen, TJ, Magic, RD2, Rayman and Rick Cardle. And we've got a close battle across the line there. That's Fatal and Stiefler. Fatal just about by 100th of a second, taking P21 over Stiefler. Battles all the way down, and that was a race to definitely cap off 6 years of FM's GTI Thursday. What a race. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Loco. He can be happy with that one, I'm pretty sure. A bit of a love bump there from Fatal, and why not? Absolutely brilliant stuff. And I believe that is everybody. We have one more car. I've been impatient there. We have a Dal who is somewhere out on the circuit, just coming out of the final corner. We will give him his airtime to round out what was a brilliant race. I'll need to catch my breath, but yeah, fair play. Joe Holmes wins our little bet, so that is a point to Zdravko this evening. That takes his total to 8 points. We hope wherever he is that he's okay and can join us later. But there we go, Adal rounding out the 25 finishers with a bit of a crash at the end there. But congrats to Loco. That was a thrilling finish. Joe Holmes will be a bit gutted he didn't manage to clinch that win. But anyway, let's get a look at those results and wrap up what has been an epic couple of races there, I have to say. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. So in 25 minutes and 12 seconds, it's Born to Race Loco getting a win ahead of Joe Holmes, 600ths of a second separating those two. Then it's Sidus Unite rounding out your podium, 5 seconds back. Then it's Fnatic, best of the rest in P4, Pekka Koivunen, TJ, Magic, RD2, Rayman and Rick 98. Then it's Agustin, Rabbit, 136 miles per hour. That is Michael Malik in P14, Wujek and Master, the Sim Racing Polska drivers in P15 and 16, with a Platst in P17, Johnny SVK, Rocket and White rounding out the top 20. Over on the second page of results, just a few names to read out. We've got Fatal, Stiefler, Aerofade, Bassi and Adal, your finishers, 25 finishers, and Lucas, who DNF'd pretty early on after that incident in turn one, sorry. Then it's Rid, Bezos, Twincam, and Sanma. Well, what a way to wrap up the action tonight. Brilliant finish there by all involved. And yeah, absolutely epic stuff. That rounds out our coverage then of Fragmaster's GTI Thursday, and quite a busy week of streaming. We had Roni's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large on Tuesday, Born to Race Turbo Cup on Wednesday, and tonight it was GTI class racing in the Fragmasters GTI Thursday series. A packed week. We hope you enjoyed it, and well, you'd be hard to find any racing action better than that, I think. The boys here tonight in the race have absolutely pulled out of the bag. Fantastic stuff. Congrats to Zdravko for winning our game. He has 8 points now with Holmes as his victor. Chris and I chose Holmes for him as he was unfortunately had to run away at the beginning of race one. And yes, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thanks again to Chris McElroy in the background. He worked overtime there to keep me informed about what was going on with the action. So yeah, from all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, we hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. And if you can, please join us for more GTI action for round 39. That's going to be happening at the end of this month on September 28th. We really, really hope you can join us for it. If tonight was anything to go by, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. The drivers have woken up, they've come alive. They're providing us with some absolutely brilliant entertainment. From all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, we wish you a very lovely evening, and we will see you on the next one. Good night. Well, it says the broadcast has ended, but the broadcast has in fact not ended, because we're going to have a little bit of an Easter egg show here, and talk about the race you just watched. Actually, there we go. So our little picks game. There are the final standings. It's Zdravko with 8, myself with 5, and Chris with 6. After Zdravko was chosen. Well, we chose Holmes for Zdravko there for race 2. Chris and I. It's a shame that Zdravko had to run away there, but we'll catch up with him a bit later. But yeah, some extra time for you guys, and a little bit of time to engage with the chat, really. 6 years of GTI Thursday. It's been a series that has absolutely dominated the Thursday calendar in Live for Speed for a number of years. We used to have the Torsdag race, which was run by the LFS German community. That was a very, very popular series. But when that started to fizzle out, Fragmasters picked up the mantle and decided to run with a little bit of, some GTI action. And we love to see GTIs. They are the demo cars, of course. They are the games that the cars that you get free with Live for Speed, and they always provide fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing. So yeah, we're really, really happy to see that GTI racing is still popular well into 2023, and we hope you can join us for the next race as we move into the 7th year of Fragmaster's GTI Thursday. That's all from me. And hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Good night.